Hey guys, it's me, Mary. I wanted to kind of sit down and do a life update because I've had a lot going on in my personal life lately these past couple months. It's definitely been an interesting start to 2024 to say the least, so let's get into it. So, for starters, I've had a couple things going on with my dad. He's had some ongoing medical issues, unfortunately, in regards to urinary tract type of infections that keep coming and going and coming and going. So, that's been kind of a slippery slope since New Year's. So, that's one thing that I've been dealing with. Every time it's like we think he's better, and then it's another curveball. It's like, yeah, think again. He has other medical issues, of course, on top of that. He's diabetic, but he has been for a long time. He has calcification buildup in his heart, but then again, that's been an ongoing thing for over a decade. They did find recently 2 cysts near his kidneys that are benign, but they still need to be monitored, so hopefully, they stay benign. That's one thing that's on my mind constantly. I love my dad so much. He's amazing. He's my best friend. Both of my parents are my best friends. We're our little family. It's really just my mom, dad, and I, the three of us. We help and support each other in many different aspects. And he takes a lot of pride in that, and so do I. The second thing is that, unfortunately, there are a lot of cruel people in the world, and he was in a hit-and-run car accident a few weeks ago. He was slowing down, going about 35 miles, I would say, on an exit ramp off the highway, and a car rear-ended him at 70 plus miles per hour, despite, you have to slow down at an exit ramp to get off the highway. And unfortunately, I don't think that driver has been found, but the most important thing is that I'm grateful that my dad is okay. He just had a couple of scrapes and minor whiplash in his neck, and that's the most important thing, that he was okay. I did not lose him. So, very, very grateful. I think someone up above was looking out for us, so thank you. I also am kind of going through my feels a little bit too on a separate note, because I did make the very difficult decision to break up with my now ex-boyfriend Mark about a week ago. I'm going through my different emotions where it's like, it's liberating, I'm free, but then there's also periods of sadness, there's periods of anger, and it's just kind of an up and down roller coaster that I need to work through, and I know that I made the right decision, but that doesn't mean that it makes it any easier to have broken up with him. I loved Mark sincerely, and I know there was quite a few people out there that thought my age gap relationship was gross just because I'm 25 and he's 60. But the decision to break up with him had nothing to do with the age gap. It had to do with how he treated me. There were a lot of good times, but there were also a lot of times where I experienced a lot of verbal abuse that wasn't necessary. And the final straw that led to me making that difficult decision to break up with him was last weekend. We had spent an afternoon together, and it had started off really well. He took me out to this bookstore like an hour away that I haven't been to in a while that I really enjoy, and we had a nice lunch after that, and things were going pretty good. At least I thought they were, until he starts getting frustrated with the GPS, and we're going in a loop a few times, and I think we went in the loop about like 5 times, and I was trying to lighten the mood a little bit, and I said, "Oh, another loop-de-loop." Just a simple comment. I didn't mean anything malicious by it. I was just trying to lighten the mood, and then he instantly yells at me and says, "That's not funny, that's not funny, you're being a pain in my ass," and I was like, whoa, okay, never mind. So I did what he did a lot in our relationship, and I shut down and I stayed quiet because I didn't want to argue any further, and apparently this had upset him even more so, to the point where it went from such a simple thing to him picking up apart myself, like every flaw and imperfection about me. And then he kept repeating certain phrases over and over like a child. Why is it okay for you to do this but not me? Why is it okay for you to do this but not me? Even though he was the culprit of doing that 98% of the time. It was 98% him and 2% me doing it in the relationship. And I felt like I was going insane. But then he also said a couple things that really stuck out to me in particular that he has never said to me before, and really made me think, wow, you really don't speak to the person you love most that way. And the two remarks that he made that really made me lose my last amount of love and respect for him was, I talk out of my ass and I make up the rules for the relationship as I go, even though we did things his way most of the time. Everything he wanted. He complained about everything. He was a very miserable person, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I know I'm far from perfect. I know I have my haters out there. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. And I don't expect to be. But I know that I am not a phony, and I'm not a liar. What you see is what you get with me. I've always been that way, always have been, and that unfortunately does piss some people off, but I know who the genuine people are in terms of who appreciates that quality in me and who doesn't. And unfortunately, Mark pretended like he did, but he didn't. So yeah, we broke up Tuesday of this past week. My dad actually met up with him this afternoon to pick up a few of my things from him. And bless my dad, he doesn't have to do that, but he did that out of the kindness of his heart so that I wouldn't have to face that confrontation and unnecessary drama. My dad told me it was like a 5-minute exchange in which he badmouthed me the whole time, didn't even bother to thank my dad for giving him back a few things that easily I could have tossed in the trash, but because I'm a good person, I didn't, and went about on his way. So it's over. It's not my first rodeo. It's not my first breakup rodeo. I know I'm going to be okay. I think that he's just projecting because he knows that he was in the wrong entirely for the downfall of our relationship. And shit happens. So I'm moving on. I know my worth and I deserve better. So yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention too in this vlog was that I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought in the Karaoke Knockout Competition so far, which I'm very, very grateful for. It looks like I have a spot guaranteed for round 4, which starts on Thursday, and I want to thank everybody who's been voting for me thus far and and I hope will continue to vote for me, because that opportunity is a once-in-a-lifetime chance not only to get an all-expenses-paid trip to LA, but to be able to meet 2 awesome cast members from Glee, which is one of my favorite shows of all time that has resonated with me deeply over the years, and to get a chance at winning $10,000, which would be honestly an amazing, life-changing amount of money. It may seem small to some people, but to me, it's everything. So I can't thank everyone enough, and I really hope to go all the way with that. I know whatever happens, happens, but I'm proud of myself for coming as far as I have, and I'm thankful for all the support. So thank you guys. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!